They created something called the robo-rat. That was the first biohybrid, right? So a biohybrid is when you mix an animal and a machine. People freaked out. They were like, you cannot put brain chips in rats and make them move through a maze by a, remote control. They now have pigeons that are mixed, animal and machine.
What?
They created something called, there's a moth. So there's a Mandica sexta moth. That's what it's called. It's a large moth. And DARPA scientists put brain chips into the larva, okay? So that when it cocooned and became a flying moth, it had the chip built into its system, making it easier to integrate, and they could fly the moth around the lab. And that was a huge step. I told you I saw that the limb regeneration lab was a trip. And this is all
What was going on there?
Well, they were just cutting limbs off of salamanders and watching the limbs grow back, right? And examining that and saying, well, if a salamander can do this, so can we one day. And I said to them, but wait, that's impossible, And they said to me, you were once a single cell in your mother's womb. And then you were two. And then you were, right? Mm-hmm. So you can regenerate. And that's their premise. I mean, these are the world's top scientists in regeneration.
Do you think that the world is ready for this?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, again, just look at the kind of responses. I mean, I gave a dinner talk to a group of Silicon Valley executives here in the Bay Area about a month ago. Again, riveted. People afterwards were just like, wow, I didn't realize it had come this far, or all of these politicians were involved, and how can I help? Every conference, science conference, biology, cancer, immunology that I go to, people come up to me afterwards and say, hey, what's going on with this? Right. It's really cool. I read about it. So, I think, of course, the world's ready. And I've said this before, most people, if it doesn't affect whether it puts bread on their table, they'll say, oh, that's interesting. And they'll go on with their daily lives. I mean, if they're not showing up in your front door and tearing up your front lawn, why do we care? I look at it for the opportunity. I mean, first of all, just knowing our place in let's say the hierarchy of intelligences, and I doubt we're anywhere near the top. But I look at it for opportunity, right? If these technologies are possible and the things that they do are possible, what can we as humans learn by just observing? We don't have to have them show up with schematics and tell us how to do it. Right. We can learn how to do it ourselves, because clearly they learned how to do it themselves.
Right.
Regarding the video of the UAP from the previous post, it has been confirmed that it occurred in Antioquia, Colombia. First pilot Jorge A. Arteaga confirms that it is not a balloon of any kind, not a drone, and not any known object to him. The official date is May 12, 2022, over San Geronimo, Cessna T-303 Crusader, in an official statement for Jaime Maussan, journalist and ufologist, producer and host of Tercer Milenio. This is how he has narrated it. The video is authentic. It was recorded by me at 1 p.m. There was first an encounter with the object, which was static and floating at a specific point between Medellin and Santa Fe. I passed by it with the co-pilot who was with me. We were approaching Medellin. Suddenly he moved and approached us. When that happened, I said to Daniel, my co-pilot, did you see it? He said, yes, it's part of the job. I told him, no. So I turned around, and when I did the 360, which is the first video I have, I saw the static object floating. I was filming the object, and as I was turning, the object moved a little. So I started chasing it with the plane. As I chased it, I approached it, and then the object moved towards us. The moment it moved towards us was when I dodged it. I was flying at 130 to 140 knots. At a speed of about 150 knots, if we do the multiplication, that's more than 300 kilometers per hour. When we first made contact with the object, we were flying towards Medellin. I said, what is that point in the middle of nowhere? When I told Daniel, look, bam, it went over us. The funny thing is, what comes next? I passed very close to it, and if it had been a balloon, the mere wake of the plane would have finished it or moved it from the point where it was. That's why I stayed. It didn't go away. It didn't fly away. And I said, no, I have to find it, and it can't be a solar balloon, because obviously that was at 12,500 feet. The temperature up there is about 5 degrees Celsius. And to be honest, I don't think a solar balloon would get that high. And a helium balloon is less dense than air, which is normal. But to get to 12,500 feet, you know it has no string, nothing. A helium balloon doesn't go that high up. In reality, I felt fear. So that's not any kind of balloon, drone, or any known object to me. This case has been followed step by step by investigators from around the world who have analyzed the images using highly qualified processes and determined determined that the video is real, legitimate, as is now confirmed by first pilot Jorge Alcantara. May the international UAP phenomenon community endorse the general opinion, who have undoubtedly been confirming the validity of this extraordinary sighting with analyses already published by various experts, leading us to a non-human origin in this UAP. So that's his testimony, and it's clear he wants it to get correctly registered. Jorge Alcantara shared the video so that all the investigators and digital analysts who have followed the case can confirm their finding.